All right, it's David here with Gaming Trend. We are here on day 2 of Smite World Championships, and I have Kellen here with me. Kellen, what do you do at Hi-Rez?
Yeah, at Hi-Rez, I'm the audio manager on Smite. So I essentially do just a lot of directing sound effects, VO, music, directing technical implementation, and just wrangling all sorts of people, and yeah.
Do you get to do any Foley work or oversee any of that?
Occasionally, but it is somewhat rare. I mean, we put out a fair amount of content, and so we really just have like extensive libraries because we need to move pretty quickly. So yeah,
that's cool. Audio is one of those things where you don't really think about it in a video game unless it's like really bad.
Or amazing.
But it just adds to the atmosphere. Are there any like subtle things you could point out that are in Smite that people may have noticed? Or
yeah, some of the things that we've really been focusing in the last couple of years is really making sure we're delivering gameplay information with audio. So things that you'll notice is like, at the beginning of an ability that maybe does a hard crowd control, or if it's a projectile, there's like a really identifiable high frequency sound right at the very beginning. That way we make sure we're delivering gameplay information and players can identify, even if they're not looking, they hear, oh, this character just fired their ult. Yeah, kind of stuff like that is something that we're really focusing on.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to admit that I had played the game for several years before I figured out that that's how the pros were figuring out when to hit their beads before they got hit by an ability. And it's like, dude, that's made such a huge difference when I'm playing, because it's like, oh, I can hear it coming, and I don't have to see that Thor's around the wall about to come hammering down on me, or the fact that Thanatos screams right as he's about to land on me. He's like, maybe I get a last minute blank. Or
yeah, there's nothing like a good pair of headphones that it actually makes you better at the game.
Yeah. How much? How much goes into that for just audio for like abilities and conveying that? Do you guys have fun like workshopping that, or like for example, the one of the matches I was just watching. I heard the crowd was mimicking the Toth ultimate charge up whenever Paul would do that. It just cracks me up every time.
It is the loudest sound in the game. Is that sound? Yeah, that was a little bit before it became like the audio. I was the technical sound designer, moved to audio lead, and then to audio manager. But before I got into like leadership, that's when that sound was designed. I love it. Because it is iconic and classic, but we might design that a little differently today.
Oh, it's so fun to taunt people with it, though, because you just hear it charging up, and it's like, oh, it's like, is he going to release it or not? Yeah. So you mentioned for the trailer, so they just had the announcement for Newt. Did you guys work, like how much time did you guys spend on just getting the audio for that right when she makes the announcement of, hey, I'm going to step in? And
honestly, that was one of the ones where the video team actually had music ready to go on that one. And so basically all the audio team really did, all I really did was just kind of mixing the VO and the music for that one, because they came to us, with the music, and we're like, yeah, we love this one. It seems to flow really well. I listened to it and totally agreed. I love the music for that one. So that was just mixing that, getting it ready to go.
And like, how much goes into the mixing? I don't really know much about the audio engineering, but I mean, is it, like how many I've seen like boards where people do the controlling, and I'm like, holy cow, why are there 20 of these things, sliders?
Yeah.
And it's like, how much control do you have over that? Or
it can get really complicated, but for what we're doing, it's actually fairly simple. We essentially have VO and music.
Okay.
And I set up sidechain compression, which tells the music to, when the voice comes in, dip down the music real quick. And then kind of fade it back in over the course of 20 to 100 milliseconds, depending on how it feels. So yeah, I mean, you can get really complicated with it, but that one in particular, it's really simple because it's just VO and music. So.
Do you get pulled in by the designers to try to figure out, like, hey, we've got a new god, what should the voice sound like? The abilities, like this guy's going to be throwing a giant astrolabe. How do you make that a satisfying clunk when it hits the ground? Or
the thing that I've always loved about Hi-Rez is that we're actually there from the very beginning. Like before they have figured out what the abilities are going to be, they pull in a pretty big group of people, and we're brainstorming. And so before we even know what the abilities are, we're already thinking about like what kind of sound palettes are we going to use for the god, and then throughout the entire production process, the audio team is there, which is, from what I hear, super rare in the industry. Usually, the audio team gets called in last second. It's very unfortunate. It really helps us out, and then we are hand in hand with the designers from the very beginning.
So I've never thought about a sound palette. That's a great phrase. What does that look like? Can you give an example of somebody that you've worked on where you're just like, hey, this is kind of the thought process that goes into the sound palette there?
So I think a good example would be probably Ixchel. So Ixchel was, for us, she's like, the goddess. There's like a lot of light and prism. Prism was a big theme for her about, just the light being refracted. And so when I say sound palette, it's really just kind of like we have a sound designer who will sit down for usually like a day or two and just go through their library and experiment and come up with, it's like an hour of sound effects that they don't go to anything, but it'll just be like long, droney types of sounds. And then we're listening through and we're looking for like glassy textures. We want this to be really bright because she's the goddess of light, and a little bit of like a touch of musicality because for some reason that makes me think of rainbows. Really just finding the identity of the character through textures and sounds.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting because there's like how do you get a sound that sounds dark, but then like okay, here's the noise that kind of triggers this kind of part of your brain where you're like okay, I can associate that. That's just crazy. I've never thought of that before. And for the so when that happens, so like Ixchel, you come up with okay, here's a bunch of different general sounds, and then as the developers are coming up with abilities they want to use, are they just kind of sampling of like, hey, we like this one, and then you guys kind of work together and refine it or fine tune it to make it okay, it needs to be exactly this long, or these are during the cast of this ability, it needs to ramp up at this point, or that type of discussion? Or?
Yeah, honestly, I've been working on Smite for so long, I kind of know what they're going to say.
Okay.
And so there is kind of a time where we're kind of working alone, and I'm working with a designer and giving feedback, and we're playing with it to see how it feels. And then looking like, again, are we providing good gameplay information? And then when we feel pretty good about it, then we go to the designer because we don't want, too many opinions. And, people are busy, so we're
right.
Not trying to get feedback from everyone. But, we just go back to the designer and say, hey, here's what we got. Let's talk about it. And they usually play through the god for a while and, again, just get the feel. And then we do usually like 2 or 3 feedback sections before we go to the entire team and say, hey, how's everybody feeling about this? So, yeah.
I would be remiss at this point if I'm talking to an audio guy and I do not mention that Bake Kujira was just out. And what kind of exciting things were there or challenges? Just whale audio is just something that seemed like it'd be interesting.
Yeah, so whales. Man, they don't sound how you think they do. They're very shrieky and, and somewhat annoying. The whale sounds that we use, which are real, they were really hard to find because whales don't typically make those types of sounds. There were a fair amount of running whale sounds through plugins to make it a little bit more interesting and magical because he is supposed to be like, this neutral ghost whale type of character. So, yeah.
Did you have to do anything to ramp up the despair angle, or instead of just I don't even know what a cheerful whale would sound like versus
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of sadness, and really that just kind of came through with the. Can I say the whale's vocal performance? Yeah, like the whales can be kind of whiny, and so somewhat elongating that a little bit makes it sound just a little more. I hate to say pathetic because I love whales so much. Like the blue whales are like my favorite creature on this planet.
It seems like it'd be hard to voice coach a whale. An interesting problem there.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you sitting down and talking with me, and hope you enjoy the rest of Worlds.
Yeah, thanks for the chat.
Thanks.
It's nice meeting you.
Bye.